right, so he's 2 years old. He has been with his current owner since 10 weeks old. It was a litter of puppies off the streets of St. Martin, which is a tropical island. Fearful, as you can see.
Yeah.
At the vet, she sent me a picture. I mean, he like pooped all over the exam table. I don't know if they were just giving him shots or trying to do his nails or what. They had to muzzle him and he just like pooped everywhere. Stranger danger, but he doesn't act like this. She describes he barks like crazy while he's running away. With her, like he knows all of his commands and he already has been on the e-collar, but she says like from watching our videos, she knows that he has a long way to go. Let's see. Leash reactivity. If she goes to a street festival with tons of people and dogs, it's nothing. But if they're on a walk and he sees one dog, he'll explode. Let's see. He lives with another dog and a cat, and the only issues they have is if he's laying with his owner and the cat or dog even walks by, he'll get nasty. Either guarding his owner or the couch that he's laying on.
Right.
He'll also resource guard his food from the other dog and the cat.
Boy.
Drop off was pretty uneventful. It wasn't like this at all. He was excited to see me. He was curious about me. He was smelling. Car ride, he panted and whined for about 10 minutes and then laid down. Hasn't gone potty yet, but really curious about all the smells in the yard. Hackles went up when he saw a dog. And his name is Saint. And he's here for 4 weeks. Actually, a little over 4 weeks.
Wow.
Owner had started using tone, so he should have a general idea based on watching our videos.
Okay.
She's been a long-time follower. She actually was able to Dremel his nails based on following our videos. That initial reaction to you was pretty extreme.
Yeah, sure.
You know? So we're just letting him wander the room, you know, let's see what he does, you know, in a new environment, out of command. This is pretty normal. He's wandering around, he's sniffing. And then, yeah, notice how Josh is. He's neutral. He's not baby talking him. He's not putting pressure on him. He's just letting the dog come to him and sniff him, just watching the dog's organic behavior. We're watching, is he gonna lift a leg? You know, is he gonna start barking or whining? And then what'll happen is we'll just sort of wait for an opportunity to start with the recall. It's clear that although he did approach Josh and take a quick sniff, like he's not exactly wanting to be in his space. So we'll use the recall to sort of start building that relationship with him, right? Got a lot of breeds in there. There's everything from Pity to Chow to Malinois. A lot of breeds. Testing consent. Did a little orbit around like the moon to the earth. And what is this guy? A lot of his anxiety just comes from too many options, too many choices, right? The choice to flee, the choice to walk around at free will, the choice to react, the choice to, there's a beep. So remember, according to his owner, he already knows what it means. So if he is not complying, it's because he's unsure or doesn't want to, because Josh is unfamiliar. So we're just starting with low pressure. Pressure's on and it goes up as he walks away. It is going down as he goes towards Josh, and it'll turn off completely when he is in the correct position in front of Josh. So it's really all up to him. Good. And that was all done. I mean, I know I'm chattering away over here, but that was all done completely silent, without words. If I was not here and this was not being recorded, Josh wouldn't have said a word. Every time he walks away, it's going to start over again. Okay, so this starts to narrow down the dog's choices where they don't just have that choice to walk away from a recall. So we also start to build the stay. So you're going to see him do stuff like this. He's going to move his body weird. He's going to make weird noises, triggering that flight reaction that Saint has that causes him to act in these unpredictable ways. It's the very first step in proofing the stay. We don't want his stay to fall apart if somebody stands up and does a jumping move. He's acting like a bear's chasing him, and it's not. So we're starting to build the reliability of these stay commands. We're teaching him no matter if you want to run away from it or if you run towards it, we don't want you to do either. The correct answer will always be stay until released. Another recall with the tone. So he's laying down like 4 feet away. We want him to be closer because the recall is right in your space. Using body language. Because see, they're still hanging on to that little thread of like, I'll comply until here. I'll comply but 4 feet away, right? It's still putting them natural consequence, trying to jump the gate and it falls and scares him. But anyway, the dog is hanging on to that last thread of control by complying to a certain extent. Wouldn't you agree?
100%.
Yeah.
All of this boy's issues is the same as everybody else here. It's that he leaderless, you know? And I know he's got somebody he's living with, but nobody's leading him. Because leading looks different. Leading would be telling, he wouldn't be doing anything.
Non-negotiable, right?
So he's a really insecure guy. He's not meant to be making his own decisions. If he was in a natural pack, he wouldn't be.
Yes.
He'd be following.
Right.
He's not a follower. That's what I mean by leaderless, is because the leader will create the follower. He's not going to become a follower and just accept a leader. The leader creates followers.
Yes.
Right? So I have to create it out of him.
And you have
a
to
natural
correct.
pack would create it out of him. He wouldn't just come out and say, let me follow. There would be a series of rituals that would happen to that would get him to become a follower, right? He would fall in position. So because that hasn't happened,
He's
he's
insecure
trying to
dominant.
lead.
Yeah.
I mean, you hear the same thing over and over again when you watch dog trainers. They talk about it all the time, right? You need to lead your dog. The dog needs to be a follower. Blah 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 blah. Create submission, right? All this stuff. When you get an insecure dog who's leading, they overreact to everything. Those overreactions become their associated responses, and then they just go on repeat, and they become psychotic and just worry warts. Look at him.
All of this is because we've asked him to stay. That is literally why he's stressed right now, but the ironic thing is this will soon create calmness because he'll feel so much better that he doesn't have all these choices. So here's another recall. Remember, he knows the recall. So if he's not recalling, it's because he's testing the boundary. He doesn't want to. We're asking to even come closer, right? A lot of these dogs will comply, like I said before, to a certain extent. They'll say, here's where I draw the line, right? I'm not going to listen anymore. Now he's just complaining. And then there he goes. And every time he walks away, remember, it starts over again. Okay, look where he chooses to be. Bam. And then relief. Not only is he getting pet, the collar's off.
Good. Yeah, so I like a dog like this because they make it really obvious. Everything's pretty obvious with him. But they need to be led, but the reason why we don't have success at home, a lot of people don't, is because the dog doesn't give it for free. Even though that's what they need, that's what they essentially will make them healthy. They're not designed to just follow anybody. You have to go through a set of rituals to prove to them that you're worthy of following. And they will. And once they accept you as leader, they will drop down into follower position, which means they're not making choices. So that means if he sees something in the environment, he's not just going to follow his instincts. He's going to hold back, look at you, and then you get to tell him how to
Right.
do it. Yeah, it can be created anywhere.
Anywhere, with anyone.
So a hierarchy is being created at home.
Right.
It just might not be serving you.
Right.
Right. The dog might see itself as equal, which is common, or above,
Yeah.
which is common. Right. We rarely ever see a dog actually following a human out in the world. That's unless they work with a trainer and stuff. You don't really see. Super rare to see it being able to do that.
Yeah.
Without.
Look how quickly he's
working
taken
with
you
a
though with this
professional.
technique. It's truly remarkable.
Well, what's cool about the dogs, what I really enjoy, and he's included in on this, he knows what we're doing here.
Yeah.
He knows we're talking hierarchy. He knows it's not about the recall. It's not about the knowledge. It's not about teaching you the recall. It's not about the commands I'm giving you. And that's why you see an attitude from dogs, is because they know if I listen to you, I'm pretty much
Giving up.
signing on
Yes.
I'm giving you my signature, I'm giving you my consent that you're going to lead.
Right.
And that's not how we do it. We have rituals to figure out who's more competent, right?
Yeah.
So once he realizes that I'm more competent and that I'm a worthy leader, he will follow.
Right.
But we have to go through a series of events. I can't just say I'm the leader, you're the follower, let's go. They don't do it. None of them do. They'll make you earn it. So unless we went through those rituals, he sees us how he sees us, right? And so the hierarchy it's an interesting thing to study, and you should be paying attention to it.
He's creating a hierarchy in his own house by guarding his food from his pack mates and guarding his
It's
resource,
created
which is his
naturally.
female
No,
owner
he
from
is.
his pack mates.
He is, and he's not being corrected properly for doing so.
No, and
Otherwise,
so
he wouldn't be doing it.
in his
so.
head, he's like, "Oh, I am the guy around here. I am,"
He
and
will.
that's why he's
Yeah,
deciding to
well,
react at the door knocks. And
Let me
he's
tell you something about this guy. He ain't the guy.
no, he's not.
And that's why
He's insecure
That's why
dominant.
he's such a darn mess.
Yeah.
He needs a guy. He needs somebody to be like, no.
Yeah, knock it
I'm
off.
leaving here.
Here's what you do instead.
Yeah, tell him what to do and what not to do. And then if he has a problem with you telling him what to do or what not to do, then we're going to deal with that now.
Right.
And that's pretty much how it goes. The leader, so you create the follower, right? It's the only way. He's not going to create a leader. The follower doesn't create a leader. The leader creates the follower. So until we step up, which I'm going to do, which I've already started, and create a follower, which is disagreeing when he leads, by the way. So anytime that he's trying to,
Demanding pets. Riggins does this too.
we're talking.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing about the way I'm talking to
Interrupting
him,
you from talking to demand pets, right?
now he says, I don't know if I want this.
He says, "I don't know if
He wants a soft relationship where he
Yes.
can host and get what he wants out of a person. He's already had that type
He
of
wants to
relationship.
be in the driver's seat with you."
Yeah, he wants to be equal, but we can't be because his decisions are horrible. Don't do what I'm doing.
No, you're gonna get bit.
This will be,
He almost gave it up.
you almost did.
He almost
He has
gave
to
it
be able to
up.
trust me too to know I'm not going to
Hurt him.
Yeah, I'm not going to harm him or anything, right? Right. But I will correct him, right? I'm not dangerous.
Right.
If you will. I am dangerous, right? I'm competent. I can protect this, but I'm not looking to harm you.
Right, and the interesting about this thing is that he starts every altercation. He
And that's
starts
right.
it, right?
Yeah.
You are not starting it.
That's right. That's good. That's good. He's wise to this though.
You've already created a response to the beep that is more urgent than what he came with.
So once he learns the commands, the 5 commands that we use, I don't even know how many there are. I have to recount them. There's only a few. It's how you use them.
Yes.
Okay. So we have to start training our brain as the owner to be thinking through the pack dynamic, right? The hierarchy, right? So we have to be able to read him well enough to understand when he's kind of stepping on our toes as leader and when he's being a good follower, and then act accordingly, right? So like you said before, everything he does, I'm responding to, right? So if he does something rude or that I see as pushing, stepping on my toes as a leader, or something I think is going to be a problem, I'll address it. What happens a lot of times, we don't see the small things. It's easy to see the big things. He's barking at the guests, he's barking at the dogs, right? They're biting, that's the big stuff, but there's so many small conversations that are going on constantly that are being missed. And then because we miss those, we just see the big ones. He's trying to guard the couch, guard the owner from the other dog. We can see that. Our human brain says, our modern human brain says, that's a problem. But really there's like 50 other problems that happen probably within that hour,
Yes.
right? So, but we don't see any of those. The dog sees it all, and because you don't see it, they assume that you're not addressing it, so that means it's, you know, it's
Green
kind
light.
Yeah, green light, here I go. And if we do try to address the big things and we're unsuccessful, then it's going to show as weakness and we're not competent, right? So it's going to say, I don't have to follow. If I say no to something, but I'm not successful at actually stopping it, that's going to knock me down a peg, right? Or if I try to tell him to do something and I'm not successful or following through, it's going to knock me down a peg. So I do a handful of those. Right? And
Here comes the recall again, because remember, he already broke rule number 1. There we go.
I'll start using my voice more.
Look at that.
Now that he's listening more, you know, I'll start using my voice more, but he wasn't paying attention to me. Why would I beg him and say, come on over here, run? No. He's trying to blow, he's trying to like ignore me. So I'm giving him minimal information on how to solve the problem, right? If he's looking at me and saying, how do I solve this problem? I'll give you some information. If you're trying to ignore me, okay, we can play that too. Good. But now he's much more responsive. Good. He's a nervy dog, so I'll do things like this to show him you're overreacting. Good. 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 Are we using rewards for him?
No, he was on an e-collar.
That doesn't mean not using.
I don't think so. I think he's picky with his food as it is.
Good. Good.
She said he can give or take his food. He's got that street dog mentality. I know he wasn't on the streets, but he's got that in his DNA.
Good. Let's see where he is after this stay. I don't expect him to do it. Stay. Right.
Good boy! Learning our language.
Someone taught you something.
Yes.
Because that wasn't normal response. Usually they don't get it right off the bat. So somebody is teaching him and he's picked up on
Taking your scent. Do you guys
Good.
see that?
He
That's
did
something I
take my
see.
scent.
Yeah.
He did.
Saying, this guy might be somebody I want to remember.
Yeah, and so, alright, so
Can't keep his eyes off you
we
now.
got a little bit of, we're in a sterile room-ish. It's a sterile, you're gonna get it, you and, you know. And I've had a conversation with him, right, with the recall, using that form some type of relationship. Now, within this same session, within day 1, I need to start showing him he's gonna have to fly. I just disagree.
Something
with,
you can correct.
I disagree with all
It's
this
just
movement,
irrational. Yeah.
right? So leader controls
Obsessive,
movement.
compulsive, irrational.
When you see an opportunity,
Do it.
jump on it, because again, leaders create followers,
Yes.
right? So if I see something, and that doesn't look like, it doesn't look like anything to the untrained eye, because we're so used to dogs being able to do whatever, right? What he just did is something entered the environment. It could be anything. It could be a fly, a person, a dog, an elephant, a snake.
A shadow.
Something entered the environment, a piece of food.
Yes.
Something entered the environment.
And he went after it.
Did not give me the choice to how, as a pack, as a unit, how we'll respond. That is a no-no. So that gets corrected, right? Knock on the door. Bark, 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 bark. I didn't tell you to do that. Or rushing the door. And that all gets corrected because he's deciding how to deal with
Right.
it. So running over there, perfect opportunity. Good. Now what did he do? Hug my side,
Yes.
or a unit. I decide one way or
Yes.
not, right?
Makes so much
Yeah.
sense to me.
His stress is gonna go.
Because when we allow him to do that stuff, it's like making his owner crazy. You know,
Well,
he's
driving
barking,
himself
he's
crazy.
lunging, he's biting. You know, he's all this stuff that causes so much stress, and he can't handle it.
He's driving himself crazy.
Yeah.
You're right. He needs somebody.
If
to
he
tell
would
him.
have stayed in St. Martin and that pack would have grown up to be a pack of wild dogs, he would not be the alpha. No way. He's too insecure.
Listen, I've met some dogs who are like alpha dogs, and he is so far from that.
Yeah.
So far from that. If the alphas are up here, he's way down
Yeah.
there. Right? And
There's
the
a
problem
spectrum.
is he's trying to
He's
be
trying to
this
be the
guy.
alpha because nobody's told him not to.
Right. Because again, what you need to understand is like the pack still has confrontations with each other, right? And they figure out and they sort out the pecking order. They have to do that, right? It's not just they're born and then everybody already knows.
It's for survival.
There's rituals to figure out who's more competent,
Yeah.
right? Who are we going to follow? Because if we just follow anybody, we're going to follow somebody right off a cliff,
Yep.
right? So the species doesn't.
We're gonna
that's not good
starve.
for the species.
Yeah.
What's good for the species is figuring out who actually to follow.
Who's competent to lead?
Right?
Yeah.
So if we have all these opportunities within a day, which we do, to talk to our dog that way and to show him that we're leading and they're following, but we don't see them or we don't address them, The dog is seeing it as you don't care or you're not competent, so it must be me. That's it. It must be me. And if you get an insecure guy like this who says it must be me, he's going to try to leave. He's going to overreact. The overreactions become the associated response, and we have a mess. Right? That's it.
Look at that eye contact. Tail wag. He said, oh my gosh, somebody I might be able to follow.
And when you say good boy, it means more once you have become the authority figure.
Right.
Right? It doesn't mean so much when you're just a friend.
Yeah.
It doesn't. Like I remember if my dad told me I did a good job, I
Whoa.
felt pretty good because my dad was an authority figure. So if he said I did good, I knew that he meant it. I had to earn that, right? I really did something. So, and because there's contrast in my relationship with my dad, where he would give me consequences, right? He would be the authority figure to lay down the law. When he gave me rewarding vibes, if he told me I did something good, it meant more because he would also punish me. If, and I've had relationships in my life where people I was spoiled. And I was fortunate enough to have that type of relationship too, where I was just spoiled all the time. And what happens is you kind of respect that person a little less. And when they tell you you did a good job, it doesn't really mean as much. So we need contrast, right? I need to be able to punish things I don't like fairly, but competently. And then also let them know, hey, you did a really good job.
Yeah.
And now it means more.
Yeah.
Now
you have a balance.
Now we have enough.
Yeah.
Now we don't need to pull out chicken liver and all
Yep.
that. We have the ingredients. And what he cares about is survival.
Yes.
So I'm like this is long-winded, which I am. Now I'm going to show him that I can protect us and I can control other dogs.
Yeah.
So first thing I'm gonna do is have another dog come down here, and then I'm gonna show him that I can control that other dog. I can control you. I must be the guy, right? I'm gonna throw resources on the ground. Even if he doesn't want it, he knows the other dogs are gonna want it. That's a resource. I can control that. So I'm just proving to him, day one when he first meets me, this is my status. This is who I am. And he's gonna say, oh, this guy can control me. He's looking out for me. He can control that dog. He gets first access to the resources. This guy must be the guy.
Yeah.
And that's how we start our relationship. Okay? So let's get Riggins down here. Well, he can come down here if you don't let him in. Saint, come. Go ahead. First thing I'm doing is making sure he knows I get to respond.
And that right there was giving a known command in a scenario where he might not want to listen and asking him to listen anyway. That's huge. Now he's being patient in the back.
Yeah.
Look how hard that is for him. He's vibrating.
Okay, so this is hard for him, right? And he's 2. And obviously he didn't get an ideal start to his life. But if he did get an ideal start to his life at 2, this should be a breeze.
Yeah, a basic stay.
This is puppy stuff, right? But that's not saying anything bad about saying his upbringing or anything like that, because every dog that comes in here, they all have to be taught puppy stuff as adults because they missed it. So I'm bringing back the scent of the new thing, which just happens to be a dog.
Remember, he's reactive,
Good.
and it's
Okay,
another male
great.
dog. They're going to want to talk about hierarchy.
Go ahead.
They're going to want to sniff each other. That's why they're forming the natural arc. Then one of them's going to want to hump the other, or
They're
both.
both spiked in the down.
That's a no-no. Did you see what he did to Riggins? Went right over his shoulders. That is a big no-no. Josh corrected it.
Hang on. Now I want to show him a couple things here.
Showing him that he can keep Riggins away, that he's a safe spot. But yeah, he can't be doing that. What he just did to Riggins will cause a fight.
Now he's going like this. What do you mean?
Cause a big fight. Yeah, because he really wants to be, he really cares a lot about that hierarchy. Now he doesn't want to show weakness in front of the other dog.
Got it.
He says, I'm top dog, right? I gotta prove to this dog.
He ain't dog.
I'm not following Josh.
I know dogs. So I love that situation that I get to show him. I'll keep the other dogs.
And he's watching.
I work with a lot of dogs. This guy ain't a tough guy, but he doesn't mean he's not dangerous. He'll overreact, so he'll bite.
The fact that he has the confidence to do that to Riggins, who is bigger than him, older than him, that's insane. That's gonna get him literally attacked in a place that is not controlled like this.
It's false, right? It's false, right? Let's bring in some of the think of some of the dogs you know that are actually dominant dogs and competent dogs. put them in this room, and he'll learn the hard way, right? He doesn't know because he wasn't handed. So in some ways, when we take a dog into our house and we keep them safe and protect them and all this stuff, we kind of rob them of their natural learning experiences, so they don't really know. Unless we provide it, he's not going to know.
Because he has no idea. Riggins is not humping him or doing that to him because we won't allow it, not because he doesn't want to.
Right, that's right. So we suppress Riggins from doing more dominant things. He sees there's weakness, so he's jumping the gun and trying to break.
Good boy. So now they can learn how to just coexist without talking about hierarchy.
We're going to do it again now.
Soft, slow and low. You can have the arc, but no going over the shoulders.
Good.
We allow about 3 seconds of sniffing.
Good. Good.
Gives them a lot of information about the other.
Good.
They go right for the butt.
I'm claiming this off.
Now he's claiming Riggins and saying, don't come near my dog.
Good.
Setting a boundary.
So you see how many things I've done with him.
Right. And it's all. Yep.
Good.
Now he's learning how to be sniffed. We're breaking it up. 3 seconds. Remember that.
I just want to show him that I am in control. I can tell the other dog to take a hike. I can tell him to take a hike. This is all adding up. He's documenting all that. So that when I go to work with him again, he'll remember all this about my position in our little relationship here. So we always talk about relationship dynamics. If there's only 2 of you, you know, you don't have a whole pack, but you still have to be thinking about the pack, right? There's the dog and you. What's your relationship dynamic? How does the dog view you? Right?
Look at Riggins walking away. You know why he's walking away? It's because he knows we're not going to let him hump, and that's what he wants to do. He also can't bark. Poor guy. Thinks that's play.
I'll see if you can make him nervous out.
He thought you were trying to play with him. That's funny. Remember, don't do this at home. Josh knows what he's doing, okay? It looks funny, but it's dog talk.
I mean, I'm not a dog. I'm more of a primate, if anything, but I know what I'm trying to get out of this guy, make him more confident. There it is. Good. There's my boy. That's good. That makes you feel better, didn't it? Makes him feel better.
Wonder where he wants to go.
Look at this. Good. So what I'm doing there is I'm spooking the dog, because I know it's not justified, right? It's kind of a silly response. Spook. He realizes that it's an overreaction. Bring him back out of fight or flight. Calm him down. Good boy. Give a little submission. Good boy. Do it again, right? Until the dog stops going into fight or flight. If he's on the verge of fight or flight, then he goes.
Right, and that's
It's
crazy.
right on the surface.
He's acting like a bear is chasing him.
Good. So, and then he'll start to trust me too. Where you can get, you know.
Doesn't want his back end touched. All those are warnings. Every time he swings his head around,
he's warning you. Yeah.
that's like pointing a gun at somebody. If you're a dog, that's his gun, his teeth, his mouth. That's all he has really.
That's it.
And that's why they muzzle him at the vet, because the vet's not dumb.
There you go.
The vet's going, that dog's gonna bite.
Yeah, so now I get to know him a little better. He's absolutely gonna nip somebody. He's a little bit insecure about correcting me because he probably thinks I'll retaliate, and he's right. So,
Yeah.
He doesn't, you know, but he also knows because I showed I'm not gonna hurt him. I progressed. It's not the first thing I did with him. I didn't need him to do this.
Yes.
We did all those other things first. Now I'm doing this. Just like Riggins would. Riggins would come over here and just say, give me that. Let me that rear real quick, right? Good. And then
It's a vulnerable
he
position.
Yeah. Good. Good boy, that's nice. Yeah, so we'll be doing that more, and that'll go away completely in no time, and then there won't be any insecurity about it. Good. And it'll also help him out there in the yard when other dogs are trying to say hello. They're just trying to say hello, and he's going into,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, if he doesn't start a fight, or if he doesn't attack a dog, he's gonna get attacked.
Yes.
Right? Because all that insecurity gets corrected by the dogs.
And because he's insecure, it comes out in the form of that leash reactivity,
That's right.
where it's like craziness at the end of the leash.
Riggins is not nervous of him
At all. Like at all.
at all. And if there is a serious dog in this room,
He won't be. He won't go near. Yeah.
You can see the nervousness on his face. So
What are we gonna do without you, Riggins?
he's not nervous of this guy. Not at all. Good.
You want me to bring out the ladies?
I think so.
All right.
ladies. You're good. Look, that means we got scoop. That's
This
a
is
sign
good.
for
This is
me.
what he's created. We need this kind of relevance. We need his owner to have this kind of relevance.
Treating the ladies a little differently. Good, good, good. All right. And you almost came to me for a safe spot, and then I went to the door instead.
There's the tone recall.
Yeah, that's good.
But do I really have to listen in front of all these dogs? I can't show weakness.
Good. You got it. Good.
And he says, fine.
Is this? Baby. Okay, baby.
Sparkle is ridiculous.
Good. Out. Alright. Also, when you're doing commands, you gotta think of them as commands and not tricks.
Yes.
That's another big one. You see people treating them like tricks.
Yep, and
You gotta,
falls apart pretty quickly if it's a trick. For example, on the car ride here, he would not lay down for me on command. And that is because it just doesn't have a seriousness enough
look at the
tone
definition
to
of
it.
command and then look at the definition of trick.
Did you
Okay?
recall them? There's it, starting over again.
Good.
Tricks are actions for a treat, right? That are honestly negotiable. The dog can say, well, I don't want to, give me a higher value treat, I don't really feel like it.
Which means we have a democracy. which is
Commands
not what we
are
want.
non-negotiable.
Good. Because you're going to be able to give him a better life if you can tell him, if he listens.
Yes.
If you can tell him what to do and what not to do, he'll have a better life.
For sure.
Good. So, we're seeing some good stuff. My relationship will be the model, right? It'll be for him.
Yes.
He'll see how he's supposed to treat a leader, right? I'll create a follower and then he'll have the model of how he should be responding in that relationship. And then we can then transfer it to you and then to the owner. Good, right? Because creating
Going after
it-
that fly again, ignoring the stay command that he's in to go after the fly. So it gets corrected and recalled again.
Exactly. Also, no, good, stay. And I'm just making these things, not to expect anybody to be perfect, just to give you some idea of how I'm thinking. And possibly why we're successful is I'm also not overreacting.
Correct.
Okay? One thing, I don't know, I haven't even met the owner, so I have no idea the temperament of the owner. I have no idea anything like that. But something I see common is this. The dog's doing something wrong, and all of a sudden, feel that energy? You don't see me doing any of that. Hey, don't do that. Hey. Sit.
Or on
Yeah.
the flip side, it could even be, no,
Or on the flip
Down.
side, hey,
no,
hey.
hey, no, hey,
That's not what you're
hey.
doing. So, in the meantime, find people who are leading dogs like trainers. You know, you can look at me, sure, but find some other models, like Caesar Milan's a good one. Other people that are leading dogs with their, within the pack, just using themselves and not using
And fake it till you make it.
right? And then look at other dogs who are leading. Look at dogs who are dominant and watch how they talk.
Yeah.
Notice they're chill, generally. They're chill, and then they respond. If they have to be assertive, they are, and then they chill again. They're not, nobody's overreacting, right? So yeah, like you said, fake it till you make it. But just observe it, because I think if we know what it looks like, then we can do it a lot better. If
Look
we
at
don't
that.
know, we're just doing human stuff. And the modern human is just like Keela would say, just clucking at the dog. Just cluck, 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 just constantly just talking. And you notice here, I've said very little to him verbally. That'll come, but I'm talking to him constantly, right? Good boy. Good. And I've got eye contact already, and I didn't train him. Look at me.
This is
Look
such
at
a
me.
great day one.
Good.
Such a
There's
great
that
day
fly
one.
again.
There's the fly.
I can
We
make
gotta
this
interrupt that.
a little bit more relevant. Good, and put it on the e-collar here. I wish I had a little fly I could put on cue.
Zzz.
Because there are these nerdy dogs like this. So like what a normal dog will do is if it lands on them, they kind of like twitch
Flick it
the
off,
ear,
yeah.
like a horse, just like a little twitch.
Yeah.
But they're not. And then he'll go into prey drive over a fly. We see that with these
Good, he
secure
flipped a
dogs
step
a lot.
over.
Good, yeah. That's good.
He's still looking for it though.
And I touch him, we got a little.
Yeah, flinchy.
So you're seeing a lot of that stress will shed off, and within a couple of weeks, you'll just see a much more chill back. He won't be twitchy. He won't be going after the flies like that. He'll be more mature, his responses. He'll be confident in being a follower and happier, honestly. Good. Now let's let him outside.
All right.
Stay. Stay. Not bad.
Nice.
I'm watching him.
Hackles are up now.
I'm gonna have to fly again. Big insecurity on him. Far from the worst
Play.
I've seen, but
Some play. A little bit of play with the ladies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's got mixed signals for sure. The way he ran up on Riggins again when we were out there, he's got a lot of lessons to learn.
Riggins feels, not only is he not scared of him, he feels
Not at all.
good. It's like getting the zoomies. Marking.
I mean, so you access a dog just like you access a person when you first meet them, and my first thing was like, I immediately put him, I just
Down.
knew where he was.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? As soon as, I didn't even have to have an interaction with him. Like, you can just like a dog does, or just like I would do with another male, a guy would walk in and I'd be like, that guy could kick my ass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I could see him, and just instantly I seen an insecure dog who was lower ranking, who needs to be led, and he'll be a great companion.
Great companion.
Once that insecurity all goes away and you trust somebody that he can follow. But he's definitely...
It'll be interesting to watch the tail position over the next couple days. Look at that.
Yeah. Well, you notice it was lower for a minute inside,
Yep.
and then I gave him that confidence with that weird
Right.
dancing stuff I did, right?
Yep.
And then it went up.
It went way up again.
And then it'll go down
We want
again.
it to be neutral. We
Right.
don't want it to be straight up in the
But
air like that.
he got some mistakes to make.
Look at that. Look at how he's carrying himself throughout our yard. Tail straight up.
As if he already owns the place.
Right.
I wish he'd start paying the mortgage. I'd let him
I know.
walk around like
Yeah,
that. Go
put
ahead.
your tail however you want it.
Yeah, so that's a good observation. Is he's looking to set a hierarchy with
His
his
tail's
dog.
higher up than Riggins' is.
Right. Well, Riggins knows he's got a job to do, and he's allowed to express to a certain degree in this situation. But yeah, that right there. You see him walking around like
Yeah,
that.
that's
like
a
you
problem.
Said?
That's a problem.
That's the couch problem
Yep.
that you said
That-
that
it
he's
is.
guarding. He's guarding the owner
Yep.
in the couch. That's that.
Yep, that is.
Right? You see, he's not interested in making a friend right now.
No, he's wanting a little hierarchy talk.
Yeah.
Not going to the
What's
bathroom.
interesting though is each one of these dogs, our dogs, like these dogs are smaller, but Sparkles and Izzy, they'll put up a little stink
They
for him
will,
too if he
especially
tries
Sparkle.
to. Oh yeah, it ain't gonna be an easy domination if he tries. A little bit of Marty in there.
A little bit of play.
We're gonna recall him now. Ignore it.
Yeah, he picks and chooses when he wants to listen based on the situation.
Good. Right.
Not a good position.
Not a
We'll
good
finish
position,
out the
but a good
recall.
recall.
Good. That was a tone recall in from the yard after a couple attempts.
Good boy. Good.
Now he comes and stays.
Good. You know, a good start. This is
Very
a
good start. Now we do kennel.
Stay. I like that he's already got a bit of a stay. Break.
Good.
He seems to understand the basics, so that's good. This count here?
Yep, because you're gonna be. I want you to do potties first if you can.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. So he just said, I don't wanna, and I feel that I have a choice in the matter,
That
so
is
I'm
good.
gonna run the opposite way.
That is a great eye you got there. Great observation. Now he's checking you out.
This will be great because he already doesn't want to go in the
So
kennel.
let's see. Let's break that down. So in the past, because he feels entitled to
Yes.
have a choice. In the past, somebody must have said, "Do this." It doesn't have to be the kennel, it could be anything. Do this, and he somehow found a
Won.
way to not do
Yes.
the thing. So that leaves room. So that leaves room for a dog to say, "I can." It's negotiable, right? I know you want this, but I'd rather do this. Let's meet in the middle. I'll tell you what.
Yes.
I'll go lay down on the couch.
Yeah, and a lot of people, especially owners, would, oh, we bought him a brand new kennel.
He don't like the kennel.
We've created a positive association, but he won't go in.
Right.
We can't get him to go in. We leave it open.
Right.
We try to get him in. He won't go in, so then they just give up.
So why doesn't a dog want to go in a kennel?
Because it means they're not out and they're not included.
You're taking away their
Right.
options.
And he really did have a really nice session 1. So he's feeling good about himself right now.
He's leaning towards you now
And
because you haven't told him what to do.
He sees that and says, no, I don't want to be put away. I want to keep, let's interact. Let's keep having fun. Bring more dogs out.
They get that FOMO. They fear of missing out, right? So, naturally a dog wouldn't want to go in the kennel because you're saying, you are not going to be involved with what I'm doing next.
Right.
Okay?
They
Guess
don't
what?
like
If you have a
It's a part of
companion
life.
or a pet and they live with humans, this is the trade-off, right? If he lived in the wild, he could do whatever he wanted. Granted, we're not giving him food, we're not giving him a nice shelter, we're not protecting him from the outside forces of the world, but he can do whatever he wants. The trade-off is you live with humans under the roof, there's 2 rules, and one of them is, well, actually, the number 1 rule is listen, right? All we're asking for is that you listen. What does that mean? That means if I ask you to do something, do it. If I ask you to stop,
Stop.
That's it. That's the trade, and then you can live with us, right? They won't hold that part of the bargain unless we go through it and show them what happens when they're not listening, show them what happens when they do listen. The dog will actually decide to listen, and it becomes easier and easier and easier as they become more submissive and compliant. Okay?
Because I just pet him, I guarantee you he's going to nuzzle up to me when Josh tries to get him in the kennel.
Right.
He's going to look at me and say, oh, she's the gazelle, right?
Yes.
She's the weak one.
She's the one that's going to let me do whatever I want.
Yes. Especially because in the car, I was trying to get him to down for the video, and I had no way of following through, so I just ended it, and so that was a little peg up.
He says, you know what? This is the type of relationship that
I
love this. This is the type that I like. And, and you know, because he's going after those other dogs, you know, he's going after the other dogs for over the resource and stuff. It's only a matter of time before we have a big uh-oh, right? And also because he's nervy, it could be a matter of time before he, and I know it sounds like it could never happen, snatches you one too.
Absolutely.
Might give you a little,
There's a
correction
reason
there.
it took her for so long to start to dremel his nails.
Right, so if you
Because-
put him in a certain situation,
Yes.
he'll tag you too.
Absolutely.
So that'll all go away when he's a follower though, because followers don't do that kind of nonsense, right? So here we go. We're gonna get his collar set up here for this, and we're gonna ask him to go in, and we're gonna do the dance, right? I'll say something, he'll say something. I'll say something, he'll say something. Okay?
It's gonna be a recall.
Same.
What did I tell you?
Come.
Ignoring the recall, nuzzling up
Good
to me.
dog.
There he goes.
That's a nice boy.
That was a
Good
correction.
boy. That's really nice. That's good. Okay? Yes, absolutely. You didn't bring it as far as some dogs do. You know, sometimes they'll sit there and play with that longer. But absolutely, he's not being faithful, right? And, you know, he probably wouldn't be faithful to you either as the owner if there was an option. If you were actually, let's say, everybody knows this one, let's say your parents come over, somebody who's soft with the dog, whoever it is, and you're trying to enforce, he's going to not choose
It's gonna go to that person.
right?
Yeah.
You see it with kids, you see it with dogs, right? Then in that moment, they're being not unfaithful, they're not being loyal, and it's heartbreaking.
Yep.
But it's really, they all do it. So, same. Ignoring me, that's okay.
Yeah, it's because I know he knows his name.
Same.
No, ignoring the recall, going to the wrong person. Right.
Okay.
Good. Did you get a correction there for coming towards me?
Yes, you
Yeah.
did.
Good. Now we say stay and walk away with the door open.
Yes. Now we leave the door open because we want mistakes, right? So we want him to try what's on his mind because we don't want anxiety in there, right? If I put him in there, and I mean even worse, if I forced him in there, he didn't recall, so I had to
that's
go
the worst
grab
thing
him
you can do.
and shove him in there and then shut it and lock it. Sure, you got him in the crate, but now you got an anxious dog in there who's going to be barking, whining, all that stuff. What we do here is we recall him and he walks in. I'm not going to drag a dog in there, right? And now when he steps out prematurely, I will turn the pressure on the e-collar. I'll give him a correction until he gets back in. So he was able to try it. He'll realize the only way to get out without correction is if I go over and tell him he can come out. Okay? Good boy. Good boy. Well, I'm really doing a good job.
Pretty
Good job,
impressive.
everybody. So I'll shut the door and then open it and see if that produces anything. That's pretty good. Okay? Saint. Great.
Nice work, Saint! Good job! Right to me.
As soon as you start working him, he's gonna
Yes.
want to go to somebody else, right? So now we're getting to know him pretty well. It's been the first session. We got a good idea of his temperament. We got a good idea of who he is. So now, we know. I feel confident in knowing.
Y'all need to keep sniffing each other. It's the same scent.
See, Riggins backs off because he looks at me, he backs off.
He wants to go
If
mark.
we weren't here and there was no rules, this would go further and it would end in an altercation. Right? The first time they sniffed, there would have been something. There would have been some type of fight. And if they both kept at it, somebody was going to correct somebody. And if that correction wasn't enough, there'd be a dog fight.
Can we get him to go in at the first try?
Saint. Place.
Nope. Trying to hide behind me. Ignore the tone recall. He's gonna get a correction.
Good job. So now, good. You can hang out in here for a little while. And then if he starts to have issues with being in here, whining, barking, anything like that, digging at the kennel or something, I come down, I open the door, he steps out, he gets a correction, he goes back in, good boy, ring your bell again when you need me, right? So that way he learns barking, whining, scratching at the bars, whatever, does not get you out. And I will, I'll come down and open the door, but if you step out, it's a correction because I never told you you could come out. And then I put him back in. And that'll be our first line of defense as far as corrections go. Next, what happens is he'll be a lot better in the kennel, and then if there's any residual kind of like fussiness, we'll just correct him without coming down. We'll just correct that stuff on the call it. But first, we want to go from big behaviors to small, and this is the biggest one, allowing him to run out prematurely. Good boy, stay. Okay? All right, good boy.